What if I told you, the more you show up for her, the more she starts to feel nothing at all? Sounds crazy, right? You're doing everything right. You're texting her good morning. You're checking on her during the day. You're giving compliments, saying sweet things, being super nice. But still, she pulls away. She replies late. She stops smiling like she used to. And you're sitting there like, what did I do wrong? Let me tell you something that'll shock you. You didn't do anything wrong. But you did fall into the trap. The trap? You were always there. Always giving. Always saying yes. Always ready. And guess what happens when you're always available? She stops feeling the spark. She stops wondering about you. She stops feeling anything at all. Why? Because there's no mystery, no space, no tension. It's like playing a video game that has no challenge, no levels to beat, no chance to win anything. It gets boring, fast. But wait. This hurts, right? You weren't trying to be boring. You were trying to be good, loyal, kind, giving, loving. You thought love meant doing more attention, more effort, more proving yourself. But let me hit you with a truth that will change your life. Love dies when it becomes too easy to reach. Read that again. Not because love should be hard, but because love needs space. Love needs mystery. Love needs moments of silence so that feelings can grow louder. Why being too good doesn't work. When you're too quick to respond, too quick to please, too quick to say yes every time. She doesn't feel lucky. She feels nothing. It's not because she's bad. It's not because she doesn't care. It's because we are wired, men and women both, to want what's rare, what's special, what's not always right in our hands. Imagine this. If every single day someone gave you a big chocolate cake, the same one, same flavor, same time, no effort needed. You'd love it at first, but after a while, you'd barely taste it. You'd stop looking forward to it. You might even throw it away. You don't need to give more. You need to be more. Not in a fake way, not by playing games, but by waking up and realizing she doesn't want a man who lives for her. She wants a man who lives for himself and lets her be part of that world. That's what makes her curious. That's what makes her lean in. That's what pulls her into your energy without you even trying. You don't need to give more. You need to be more. Not in a fake way. Not by playing games, but by waking up and realizing she doesn't want a man who lives for her. She wants a man who lives for himself and lets her be part of that world. That's what makes her curious. That's what makes her lean in. That's what pulls her into your energy without you even trying. Remember this truth. You don't need to prove yourself. You just need to be yourself, fully, boldly, calmly, with a life that's already whole. That's the man she remembers. That's the man she chases. That's the man she can't replace. Now, let's go deeper. Let's talk about why chasing her actually makes her run. Turn the page. Why she stops feeling you when you chase too hard. What if I told you, the more you run toward her, the faster she runs away? It sounds backwards, right? You think chasing shows love. You think chasing means you're serious. You think chasing proves you're the one. But here's the twist no one told you. The harder you chase, the less she feels. Not because she's cold, not because she's evil, but because chasing kills the feeling of desire. Let me paint the picture. You're texting first. Every time. You're making plans. Every time. You're checking in every hour. You're saying, I miss you, again and again. And she's pulling back, little by little, until you're the one doing 90%, while she's giving you crumbs. And now you're tired, you're confused, you're hurt. You think, maybe I'm not enough. But the truth is, you're doing too much. Desire needs space, and you're filling every corner. Imagine a fire. You want it to burn, right? But if you throw too much wood on it, too fast, without giving it air to breathe, what happens? It goes out. That's what happens when you chase too hard. You don't give her emotions time to breathe. You smother the spark. You think you're building love. But what you're building is pressure. And guess what? Pressure makes people run. So what do you do instead? You stop chasing. Not because you're angry, not because you're bitter, but because a calm man doesn't run after what's unsure. He walks forward and lets her decide if she wants to come along. He doesn't fight for attention. He doesn't beg for love. He doesn't dance to be picked. Because deep down, he knows something powerful. The man who chases feels empty. The man who moves forward feels whole. Being whole creates magnetic energy. You ever meet someone who just felt solid? They weren't needy. They weren't loud. They weren't trying to impress anyone. But you felt their energy. That's what she wants from you. She doesn't want a boy chasing her like she's his prize. She wants a man walking his path, with his eyes on the horizon. And if she gets to join that journey, she feels lucky. She feels chosen. She feels desire. But wait, this takes courage. It's scary, I know. You'll want to reach out. You'll want to say something. You'll want to explain your heart again and again. But here's where emotional strength kicks in. Real power isn't in chasing. It's in being still, in holding the line, in letting silence speak louder than your words ever could. When you stop chasing, you give her a chance to come toward you. And if she doesn't, you find peace because you didn't lose yourself. The new law of attraction is simple. The man who chases too hard becomes forgettable. The man who walks with purpose becomes unforgettable. She can't stop thinking about him. Why? Because she can't catch him completely. And that mystery, that calm energy, that sense of I have my own world, that's what makes her want to be part of it. So ask yourself this. Do you want to be remembered as the one who ran after her? Or the one who made her wonder, why does he feel so rare? Because that's where the power lives. How your absence becomes her obsession, even if she acts like she doesn't care. Here's the weird truth no one talks about. Sometimes the best way to be remembered is to disappear for a while. Wait, what? Yep, you read that right. You don't need more texts. You don't need sweet poems. You don't need big promises or gifts or one last message. Sometimes all you need is silence. Because when you step out of her routine, her world starts to feel a little empty. You used to be there, now you're not. She was used to your good morning messages. She was used to your attention. She was used to feeling seen, wanted, desired. She didn't always say thank you, but she noticed. And then, one day, you were gone. Not in anger, not in revenge. Not because you wanted to punish her, but because you finally understood. If she can't value my presence, she'll need to feel my absence. And this changes everything. At first, she might act like she doesn't care. She'll keep posting, she'll keep laughing, she'll keep pretending. But slowly, the silence starts to whisper in her ear. She wakes up, and there's no message. She scrolls, and you're not watching. She laughs, and you're not there to hear it. And suddenly, the thing she took for granted feels like it's missing from her life. That's when curiosity turns into confusion. Confusion turns into emotion, and emotion becomes obsession. But why does absence work like this? Because the brain hates unclosed stories. Think about it. If a movie ends without a final scene, it drives you crazy, right? You keep wondering, what happened? What went wrong? Did I mess it up? That's how your absence hits her. She doesn't know why it's so quiet. She doesn't know if you're moving on. She doesn't know if you still care. And that mystery, that unknown space, it makes her feel again. Here's what most guys get wrong. They think, if I leave, she'll forget me. But that's not true. If you were real, if your energy touched her, if your presence brought calm or joy or fire into her world, then when you disappear, you don't vanish. You echo, and that echo rings in her mind louder than any text could. She remembers the moments. She replays your voice. She checks your profile and wonders what you're doing. But you can't fake this. Absence only works when it comes from detachment, not desperation. You're not hiding, hoping she chases you. You're not waiting, staring at your phone. You're not playing a game. You're just living. You're building, creating, healing, becoming more of yourself. That's what makes your absence powerful. It's not cold. It's stoic. It's a man choosing peace over chasing. And guess what? She feels that energy. You didn't slam the door. You didn't send angry paragraphs. You just stepped back into your own world. And now she's the one wondering, where did that energy go? Why does the silence feel so loud? Why do I miss what I didn't appreciate? Because your absence didn't create emptiness. It created value. So here's your power move. Let your absence speak. Let it shake her comfort zone. Let her feel what life is like without you always available. And if she reaches out, you'll know she didn't come back for comfort. She came back because the silence showed her something she couldn't ignore. Your worth. Why predictability kills her excitement, and how to wake up her craving for you. Do you want to know the easiest way to make her lose interest? Be too easy to figure out. Same text, same words, same energy, day after day after day. Yawn. See, most guys try so hard to be good to her. They become the human version of plain toast. Safe, nice, predictable. But women don't dream about plain toast. They dream about fire. Her brain wants excitement, even if her mouth says no drama. Here's the twist. She says she wants a simple guy. A guy who's always there, always nice, always available. But her emotions? Her emotions want mystery, uncertainty, challenge. Why? Because mystery equals feeling. When she doesn't know exactly what you'll do next, when you aren't too easy to read, her body reacts, her heart beats faster, her brain lights up. That's attraction. You're not her boyfriend, you're her riddle. Let me make this clear. You don't need to act cold. You don't need to fake it. But you do need to stop being so on schedule. If she knows, you'll always text back in 30 seconds. You'll always compliment her, even when she's distant. You'll always be there, no matter how she acts. Then guess what? She stops trying. She stops feeling. She gets lazy because you already gave her everything. So what's left to chase? Disrupt the pattern and watch what happens. Now, let's flip the switch. What if you broke the rhythm? What if you changed your steps? Instead of always starting the conversation, you don't. Instead of liking every story, you vanish. Instead of talking about her day, you talk about your mission. Suddenly her world shifts. She notices, she feels it. Her brain says, wait, what's going on? And boom, she's pulled back in. Not because you chased, but because you disrupted her pattern. Your energy is not a free vending machine. Here's a powerful truth. Every time you give attention on demand without her earning it, she values it less. Think about it. If a guy brings you free food every day, rain or shine, you'll stop appreciating it. But if he stops showing up one day for no reason, you'll start wondering. You'll miss it. You'll want it back. That's what happens when you stop being predictable. She starts noticing what she took for granted, and that noticing becomes feeling. The silence between notes makes music. Let's get deep for a second. Music isn't just made of sound. It's made of silence between the sounds. If you remove the pauses, it's just noise. Relationships are the same. You need space. You need breath. You need contrast. Without those things, it becomes routine. And routine is the graveyard of attraction. So what do you do now? Start being unpredictable, but not random. Live your life first. Let her wonder what you're up to. Let her ask why you're so focused lately. Let her miss the vibe you used to bring every day. This doesn't mean being rude. This means having your own rhythm, your own focus, your own mystery, because that's what lights the fire in her again. The unknown, the unexpected, the unfinished story. Bottom line, when she doesn't know what's coming next, she starts to feel alive again. And when you're the one who wakes up that fire inside her, she'll come closer. Not because you begged, but because she craved what she couldn't control. That's power. That's peace. That's stoic attraction. Business. When you become the prize, she feels the loss before you even leave. Here's the secret nobody tells you. If she doesn't fear losing you, she'll never value having you. Let that sink in, because right now, you might be trying so hard to keep her that she's forgetting what it means to earn you. That's the beginning of the end. Stop chasing, start attracting. Most guys live like this. If I don't reply fast, she'll get mad. If I don't compliment her, she'll find someone else. If I don't ask her to hang out, she'll think I don't care. So they chase, they explain, they overthink, they push and push until she pulls away. Why? Because she doesn't feel like she's winning something rare. She feels like she's being smothered by something common. You're not an option. You're the prize. Read this out loud. I am the prize. Again, louder. I am the prize. If you don't believe that, she won't either. A man with purpose, peace, and power doesn't convince women to like him. He lets them observe his value. And when a woman feels like she has to reach for your attention, when she senses that being near you is a privilege, not a right, her energy shifts, she softens, she respects, she desires. Why? Because you are no longer a beggar. You're the giver who chooses when and where to show up. People only value what they feel could be lost. Imagine this. You walk into a store. You see a diamond. It's locked behind glass. Guards watching. Price tag, $250,000. Now imagine that same diamond sitting in a dollar bin, next to chewing gum and keychains. Which one feels special? Same object, totally different value. The difference is how it's treated, how it's protected, how scarce it feels. That's you. If you make your time, energy, attention always available, always free, always easy, she sees you like a keychain. But if she senses that you know your worth, that you don't hand your energy out like samples at a grocery store, she feels it. She wants in. She doesn't want to be replaced. She starts to value what she almost forgot was special. Detachment is not distance, it's dignity. Now listen. This isn't about ignoring her. This isn't a game. This is you finally waking up and realizing you don't chase what's already meant for you. You don't force connection. You don't beg to be seen. You become the man who walks with quiet strength, with a mission, with focus, with dignity. That's detachment, not cold, just centered, not distant, just deep. And the deeper you are in yourself, the more she feels like she's about to lose something irreplaceable. Build a life so full, she has to earn her spot in it. Let me ask you, is your life full of meaning even without her? Because that's the test. Women are drawn to men who are already moving, already building, already walking towards something real. If she looks into your world and sees vision, passion, focus, she won't want to distract you. She'll want to join you, but if your world looks like it's just waiting for her to make it better, she'll leave. Because no woman wants to be your whole life. She wants to add to a life that's already rich. Bottom line, the man who knows his value doesn't fear her walking away. He knows his silence speaks louder than his words. He knows his absence teaches better than his presence. He knows his time is the most expensive thing she could ever earn. And once she feels that, she collapses into craving. She returns with respect. She remembers who you really are, the prize, not the player. She can't follow a man who can't even lead his own emotions. Have you ever seen a man fall apart over a text, over a late reply, over a girl not feeling it anymore? That's not love. That's emotional weakness, and women can smell it from a mile away. Here's the truth. No one tells you. If you can't lead yourself through emotional storms, she'll never trust you to lead her through anything. And deep down, she wants to be led. Stoic mastery equals mental dominance. Let's make something very clear. Being a man doesn't mean you never feel anything. It means you don't let what you feel control how you act. That's stoicism. You still get angry sometimes. You still feel hurt. You still feel love, sadness, passion, fear. But you don't explode. You don't chase. You don't beg just because you're scared to lose her. You sit in your storm. You breathe, you wait. And then you choose what to do next with power, not panic. Most men lose women because they lose themselves first. Imagine this. A guy meets a girl. He likes her. She replies. He feels good. She doesn't reply. He feels worthless. Now he's anxious, texting too much, overthinking everything. He starts acting like a different person just to get her attention again. Guess what she sees? Weakness. He's not in control of himself. His feelings run the show. And that's when she starts to pull away. Because how can she feel safe with a man who doesn't feel safe inside himself? Emotional reactions equal losing frame. Women are emotional creatures. They test men to see who can lead the energy. If she says something rude, if she acts distant, if she flirts with another guy to see what you'll do, and you react emotionally, you just lost your frame. But if you stay calm, if you breathe, smile, and keep your power, she feels it. She realizes this man doesn't get shaken. He chooses what deserves his energy. And that's when attraction spikes. Not because you played it cool, but because you are cool. Inside, always. Women follow the man who doesn't flinch. Let's say life hits you hard, work stress, family problems, her mood swings, and she watches how you move through it all. If you complain, whine, blow up, she starts to lose trust. Because now you're looking to her for strength. But if she sees you breathing through pressure, staying calm under chaos, laughing when others panic, her body and mind lean in without even realizing it. Because deep down, women aren't just looking for love. They're looking for stability. A man who stands like a mountain, not a boy who cracks like glass. Control your energy. Control the room. Let me drop a truth bomb. The calmest man in the room owns the room. And in relationships, the calmest man in the relationship owns the frame. You don't have to yell to lead. You don't have to chase to win. You just have to stay centered. Your stillness makes her heart race. Your quiet makes her lean in. Your lack of reaction pulls her in more than 100 compliments ever could. Because silence in the right moment is louder than any words. The power of unpredictability. Why she can't stop thinking about you. What do women hate, but also crave, more than anything? Surprises, mystery, not knowing what you'll do next. It drives them crazy. But here's the twist. It's also what makes you unforgettable. The truth is, once she can predict you, she starts to ignore you. So if you always show up the same way, always text at the same time, always say the same things, She knows your script, and once she knows your script, she stops playing the game. Women get bored fast, really fast. Here's something you've probably seen but never understood. She liked you a lot in the beginning, texted all the time, made effort, called you amazing. But then, something changed. She didn't pull away because you did something wrong. She pulled away because you became predictable. She figured you out. She knew exactly when you'd call. She knew exactly how you'd reply. She knew exactly how far you'd go for her. And guess what happens when a woman knows everything about you? She feels nothing. Not because you're bad, but because you stopped being exciting. Predictability kills desire. Look, let's be real. Routine is good for your goals, but routine is boring in attraction. If she can say, he always texts good morning, he always says, I miss you, he always asks about my day, she's already mentally moving on because there's no spark, no tension, no edge. Think about a thrilling movie. Would you watch it again if you knew every single line? No way. You want twists, you want turns. You want to feel something new every time. Women are the same with men. Be the storm, not the forecast. Let's flip the game. What happens when she can't tell what you're going to say next? What happens when you don't reply right away? Or when you disappear for a weekend to work on yourself? Or when you suddenly post a picture living your best life without her? Her mind starts spinning. Where is he? Why didn't he reply? Who is he with? Why is he smiling like that? Boom! You've planted a seed, not of fear, but of curiosity. And that's the fuel of obsession. Unpredictability creates mystery, and mystery equals power. When she can't fully figure you out, she has to stay around longer to try, because humans can't stand an unfinished puzzle. And women are emotional creatures. They don't need facts. They follow feelings. If your energy feels deep, your life looks exciting, and your emotions stay centered even when hers swing like a roller coaster. She feels drawn to you, even if she tries to pull away, even if she tells herself she's done, because you've become unreadable, and unreadable men become unforgettable. Give her a story, not a schedule. Stop being the good morning guy. Stop being the I'll call you every night guy. Stop being the what do you want to eat guy. Be the man who vanishes sometimes because you're building your empire. Be the man who cancels a call to hit the gym. Be the man who suddenly books a trip with zero warning. She might act annoyed. She might say, you're so confusing. But her heart is racing, because now she doesn't know what's coming next. And guess what? That's exactly what she wants. Emotional routines equal death to attraction. Most guys think, if I just stay consistent, she'll love me more. Nope. That only works after trust is built, not in the beginning, and definitely not when she's still figuring you out. Attraction lives in the unknown, so instead of being the same every day, try this. Surprise her with silence. Surprise her with strength. Surprise her by not needing her to feel valuable. You don't have to be mean. Just be free. Do what you want, when you want, and let her feel the difference. Mystery equals aura. Aura equals power. Your energy should whisper. Who is this guy? What's going on in his head? Why can't I stop thinking about him? That's aura. It's not about looks. It's not about money. It's about vibe. And when a woman can't predict your vibe, she keeps chasing it. She keeps replaying your words. She keeps wondering if you're hers or if you're already gone. That's power. And that power isn't found in chasing her. It's found in building yourself so much that you don't need her attention because you've already got yours. She wants a seat on your train, not to be the train. What if I told you that the moment you make her your everything, she'll make you nothing? Sounds harsh, right? But it's the truth most men learn way too late. Because here's what nobody tells you. Women don't want to lead your life. They want to join it. They don't want to be your purpose. They want to be part of your purpose. And when you flip that, when you chase her more than your mission, you lose something powerful. Your edge. When she becomes your world, you disappear from hers. Let's say it clear and simple. You make her your world. You text her all day. You drop your goals to be with her. You cancel the gym. You pause your hustle. You put her above everything. You think you're being romantic. You think you're showing love. But what does she feel? She feels pressure. She feels like you're leaning on her for meaning. She feels like you're asking her to carry your emotional world. And guess what? That's not attractive. It's heavy. It's stressful. It feels like neediness, even if you call it love. She wants to ride the train, not become the driver. Imagine your life is a fast-moving train. You're going somewhere powerful. You've got direction. You've got momentum. You're building something real. That's attractive. That's magnetic. Women love getting on a train that's already going somewhere exciting. But if you stop the train, turn to her and say, "Where should we go now?" Hand her the map, the keys, and the pressure. She panics. She pulls back. She feels the energy shift. Because deep down, she wants to trust that you know where you're going. She wants to follow your purpose, not be forced to become it. The moment you choose your mission first, she feels safer. Here's a secret most men never learn. Women actually feel safer when you don't make them your number one. Why? Because it shows you have structure. It shows you have values. It shows you have boundaries. It shows you can lead yourself. And if you can lead yourself, you can lead a relationship. But if you drop everything the moment she calls, if your whole energy changes based on her mood, if your whole day gets thrown off just to make her smile, she stops trusting you, not because you're mean, but because you've made her feelings more important than your direction. And that creates insecurity. Purpose makes you untouchable. A man on purpose walks differently. He moves with weight. He speaks with calm. He doesn't need attention to feel powerful because his life is power. He's already full. He's not waiting for a woman to complete him. He's busy building, growing, leading. And that energy, that's what women crave. Not the man who stares at his phone waiting for her text, but the man who's so deep in his mission, she wonders, why hasn't he texted? What is he building? Where is he going next? And how do I get in? You become rare when you choose you first. Most men don't do this. They fold fast. They give too much. They make her the center of everything, then wonder why she disappears. But you're different. You know that chasing a woman who doesn't feel your aura is a dead end. You know that if you don't respect your time, she won't either. You know that your energy, your focus, your path is the real magnet. So instead of chasing, you build. Instead of texting 50 times, you work. Instead of begging, you elevate. And guess what? The higher you rise, the more she wants to rise with you. The new rule: purpose first, then her. You don't have to be cold. You don't have to be cruel. You just have to remember, your life comes first, because a woman doesn't want a man who's chasing her love. She wants a man who's chasing his fire and inviting her along for the ride. So when she sees you reading, growing, building, rising, when she sees that she's part of your world, not the whole thing, she leans in. She respects you. She gets curious. She starts to want your attention again. Because now she knows you're a man with motion, a man with mission, a man with mystery. And those are the men who never get forgotten. The secret power most men ignore, but women feel instantly. Have you ever had a woman say this to you? You're too emotional. Or worse, you're too cold. Confusing, right? You try being open. It backfires. You try being calm. She says you don't care. So what do? What's the answer? Here it is. And it's rarely talked about. You master your emotions without erasing them. This is how you go from too much or too distant to a man who makes her feel safe, drawn in, and deeply curious. When you react, she retracts. Here's what most men don't know. When she pushes your buttons, when she tests your mood, when she throws a little drama your way, she's not trying to destroy you. She's checking your foundation. She wants to know, can you handle life? Can you handle her fire? Can you stay calm when things get messy? Because when you snap, yell, panic, chase her around asking, what's wrong? Please don't go. She feels like you can't lead yourself, let alone her. And just like that, the attraction dies. Real power isn't cold, it's centered. Now listen closely. Being calm doesn't mean being numb. Being chill doesn't mean acting like a robot. Stoic men, real ones, feel everything. They just don't broadcast every feeling. They hold space. They observe first. They act with purpose, not panic. You can say, I'm hurt, but say it with control, not chaos. Say it like a man who knows his worth, not one begging for pity. This quiet strength, it's magnetic. She doesn't even know why she's pulled in, but she is. Your energy is a temperature. She feels it all. Think about it. If your vibe is all over the place, hot, cold, wild, soft, needy, angry, she never knows what she's going to get, and that's scary. But if you walk into a room and bring calm, if your voice stays low even when she's loud, if your face stays peaceful even when she's poking at you, she starts to feel something new, safety. And guess what? When a woman feels safe, she opens up, she leans in, she gets softer, because your calm gives her permission to relax. You stop being just another guy. You start becoming the emotional anchor she never knew she needed. Emotional mastery equals freedom from chaos. Here's what mastering your emotions really gives you. You don't chase. You don't beg. You don't panic when she pulls away. You don't need constant answers. You don't react to every mood swing. Why? Because you trust yourself. You know you'll be okay, with or without her. That kind of peace, it's addictive, and it makes you scarce in a world full of emotional chaos. How to start being emotionally strong right now? You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be aware. The next time you feel a strong emotion, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, is this emotion running me, or am I leading it? If you can name it, you can tame it. If you can feel it without acting out, you've already won. You're not avoiding your emotions. You're becoming stronger than them. And she'll feel that without you saying a word. When you don't react, she starts to reflect. This is the wild part. When you stay grounded while she's storming, she starts to look inward. She starts to ask herself, why am I so reactive? Why does he feel so calm while I feel crazy? Why do I want him even more now? Because now you're showing her something different, something rare, something unshakable. You're not just a man. You're a man who leads with energy, not emotion, and that is unforgettable. The truth she'll never say out loud. She'll never admit this. But it's real. She wants a man who can hold her storms. She wants to cry, rant, panic, and still feel your peace. She doesn't want to be your therapist. She wants to feel your strength, even when things get hard. And when you give her that, she softens, she trusts, she bonds, and she doesn't even know why. But she knows this. She doesn't want to lose you, because your calm, your emotional strength, your unshakable core has become the space where she feels most alive. The last secret: how your absence becomes her deepest desire. Imagine this. You step away, not because you're scared or playing games, but because you have something bigger to do. And suddenly, she can't stop thinking about you. What's going on? Why does your absence feel like a magnet pulling her closer? Here's the truth nobody tells you. When you live fully, with purpose and passion, your absence creates a space she wants to fill. Not being there is not a void, it's a message. When you're always around, she gets used to you. You become just there. Nothing special. But when you're gone, even for a little while, it's like a silent message saying, I have my own world. I'm not waiting on you. I'm busy living my life. And that message, it lights a fire inside her. It makes her curious. It makes her wonder what she's missing. Space gives her room to miss you and to want you. Think about it like this. If you're always there, she has no reason to think about you. You're just part of the background noise. But when you create space, when you're living your own life, she starts to notice what's missing. She feels a gap, she feels a pull, and that pull is the most powerful attraction of all. Absence builds your value like nothing else can. You've heard about scarcity before, but scarcity isn't about being mean or hard to get. It's about value. When you're not always available, you show that your time is precious. Your life is rich. You are a man with things going on, goals, hobbies, friends, passions that don't depend on her. That makes you rare. That makes you valuable. And people want what's rare and valuable. This is not about games. It's about truth. Some say pull back to get her interested. But that's a game, and games end in confusion. This is different. This is about being real. Being a man who lives first and lets connection grow naturally. Because when you focus on your purpose, you don't need to chase approval. You don't need to prove your worth. you are worth it. The peace you gain is the biggest win. Here's what most men miss. The best part about creating space? You get your own peace back. No more frantic texting. No more waiting for her to like you. No more emotional roller coasters. You live your life calm, strong, and free. And ironically, that's exactly what pulls her back. Over and over again. The closing truth. She falls into your freedom. Women don't want a man who's always available. They want a man who's unavailable because he's busy living. When you live like this, with calm confidence, emotional mastery, and true purpose, you don't just attract her. You become unforgettable. Your absence, it's not emptiness. It's a powerful call. A call that says, I'm a man with my own world. Come join me, if you can keep up. And when she does, she falls deeper than ever before. That's the real secret. Not being too available, not chasing, but living fully. Because a man who lives fully is a man no woman can forget.